And I would like to also invite the first speaker that we have on board for the second day of marketing in the new normal. We'll be talking about the extended MCO and the extended reach. We have Suzaane Ling, the co-founder at PichaEats and Zucchini and Co. Hi, Suzaane.
Hello, hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep, yes, I can hear you here.
Okay.
Yep.
You'll be sharing about extended NCO, extended reach, how we can maximize social media and how we can create content during this extended NCO.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. Very, very grateful to have you on board.
Mm-hmm.
You have about last 15 minutes for the Q&A. We'll assist you with the Q&A. And once you are done with the presentation, we can go ahead to the
All
Q&A.
right.
All right?
Do you see the screen well? Are
Yeah,
the
we see the screen. Yes.
okay? Cool.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. All right, so I guess I'm taking over from here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Suzaane, and I'm one of the three co-founders for PichaEats and also for Zucchini and Co., which is a new company that we recently started, which I will talk more about it later. Yeah, so this is I'm the first speaker of the day at 9 a.m. I bet this is not the fullest session because a lot of people might not be awake yet. Yeah, but today my main focus, I'm really glad to be part of this conference. And today my main focus is actually talking a lot on social media content and how can we use social media at this period of MCO, especially extended MCO as well, to reach as many people as we can. Because the truth is that a lot of businesses are affected, including ours, and it kind of feel like we don't have we it kind of feel like we don't know what to do on social media and things like that. So today I'm gonna try my best to share as much as I can so that everyone can learn. And I'm also always learning as well. So before I jump into marketing and social media, just a brief intro of what I do and who am I. My journey of entrepreneurship started about 7 years ago when I was in university, and during my free time, me and my friends started volunteering in a refugee learning center to teach English, maths, and science, just as a way for us to give back and to spend time. But as we were teaching, we were actually teaching a group of students from Myanmar. The school is in Cheras, very near to our uni. So we were teaching this group of kids from Myanmar, and as we teach them, we realize that a lot of the students, they are struggling financially at home, and a lot of them are forced to drop out at the age of 13, 14, just to go out and work in KK Mart, Mamat store, and things like that. And as teachers, even though we were just volunteers, it really broke our heart. And we started asking ourselves, how can we empower these families to earn a more stable living for themselves so that their kids don't have to drop out and work at such a young age. At the age of 13, 14, that's really young. We were in Form 1, Form 2. Yeah, we were just in secondary school. So when that happened, the first idea that came to our mind is actually food, because we realized that a lot of our students' parents can actually cook. And we thought, since they can cook and all of us, everybody in this world need to eat every single day, why not we start a food business where we get the students' parents to cook and we will sell it to people who needs food. And that was how the business idea came about in January 2016. And at that time, me and my friends, we were all in our final semester in the university, and we started getting our friends to buy. And after we graduated in April, we decided to do it full time, and it's been 4 years ever since. So actually, it's like a full 4 years since we started this business. And throughout this business, I think when we first started, what we do is we currently have built this platform where we become the platform to connect all these refugee chefs to the market. And what we do is we have food delivery meals, we have Ramadan set, we have birthday party sets and things like that. And we also do a lot of buffet catering, which, as you can imagine, is completely gone now. So buffet catering used to be 60% of our total revenue, and it's completely gone now, which pushes us to pivot and innovate and think of other ways to come to achieve alternative revenue streams so that our business can continue to run and sustain. But the main thing that I want to highlight is that during these 4 years in this journey of building PichaEats, we truly have experienced the power of social media. And the reason why I say that is because just imagine 4 years ago when generally people are not very familiar with what refugees, who refugees are. 4 years ago, if you hear this business of 3 girls who just graduated from university running a food business with refugee mothers, the questions that we keep getting is, are you sure this is going to work? Why would people buy food from you? Is the food clean? Is the food hygienic? Is it safe to be consumed? Is it nice? Will we like it? There's a lot of questions like that where people just don't trust in a business because it's something so new, and it's just not something normal for people buying food from refugees. And at the time, as young entrepreneurs, we ask ourselves, okay, should we just package ourselves as a food business and not mention that the chefs are are refugees from Syria, Palestine, and so on? And we told ourselves, if we are in this to make an impact, and if we are in this business to spread more awareness about what's really happening out there, then we should tell the truth. Which is why we went on social media, because we didn't have a lot of marketing budget. So social media was all organic. We went on social media, we told our story, and we truly experienced the power of social media, because in the past 4 years, the perspective towards this whole idea of enjoying food made by refugee chefs has completely shifted. And why would I say so? It's because for the past 4 years, we have served about 150,000 meals, and we have gained about 4 million in terms of revenue, and 50% of that goes straight back to our chefs. And we have served about 500 over corporate clients that includes Facebook, Google, Petronas, Magic, Allianz, JP Morgan, and so on. And just go back to 4 years ago and imagine, from people saying, why would people buy food from refugees, to all these big corporations buying food and enjoying the food that is made by this amazing chef. It really showed us how powerful social media is. Because I think the reality is we are living in this era. We are at this era where social media, it can be sad or it can be good. Social media sort of forms our reality, and whatever we see on social media forms our reality, and social media affects our perspective towards the world so much. So through social media, we strive to tell the true story behind why we started PichaEats, why are our chefs here in Kuala Lumpur, and the quality of the food that they make, how delicious the food is, how authentic and how real and how high quality the ingredients are. We post all of those on social media, and it has successfully changed the perspective of people towards this business. So again, I know I've said this a lot of times, social media is really very powerful because it is a very strong channel for you to speak to the people you want to speak to. So if you have any message you want to send across, social media is a very good platform. We just need to find the right way to send the message across. So when, as I mentioned, as MCO hit, actually not when MCO hit, when COVID started, we started getting affected as a business actually since January. So in January, a lot of companies have already cancelled their buffet catering, even in February. And when MCO hits, we know that things are not going very well, and we foresee in the next few months, in the next months of this year, we might not get the buffet catering business back. But I'm very thankful the team was very agile. We were all very, we were all very agile and ready to change. So we told ourselves, okay, our strength is in storytelling. We can start a new business called Zucchini & Co., where we use our strength of storytelling and content marketing to help more brands to also tell their story, especially in a time like now where a lot of brands wants to go online. A lot of brands are trying to think how can they build a stronger engagement on social media because they can't see their clients physically anymore. And that's where we thought it's a good time to come in. And currently we have had a few brands that we are working with to help them to generate content on social media. Yeah, so today, as I mentioned, our topic today is extended MCO, extended reach. Okay, let me repeat. Extended MCO, extended reach. And why would I say that is because I think a lot of you who's at home, we know that we have a lot of time, a lot of extra time on our hand because now we don't have to commute. Now we have slightly more time working from home, and the data has shown that during this whole period of time, there is a 40% increase in the usage of WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. And the age group is 18 years old to 34 years old, and which is like the university and a young working adult group. So I think it is very logical that the usage has increased, because even on Picha we saw an increase in our reach, in our likes. Yeah, we saw a lot of increase, and our reach, we compared our reach in the 4 weeks of the first 4 weeks of MCO as compared to the 4 weeks right before MCO. Our reach has increased for about 43%. And our ad spend, despite spending only 38% extra on our ad spend, our conversion value actually has increased for about 72%. So there is a very obvious increase in the behavior, in the online behavior of people right now because of MCO. So if your brand is not maximizing on social media at this moment yet, really it is the time to do that. And some of you might ask, okay, so how do we do that? Where do we start? So before we get into that, we must make sure that we understand the modern online buyer's journey, which I'm going to share a bit more now. So the reason why I want to highlight this is because all of us know about the marketing funnel, the awareness, consideration, purchase, post-purchase, which is exactly what you see on the screen right now. But what it means by the online buyer's journey is to bring this whole process online, which social media actually play a very important role. So let's look through the process. So first, awareness. Awareness is when someone see your brand for the first time, where they feel like, oh, I saw you here. Oh, I saw you somewhere. That's how I got to know you. And for awareness, online, there can be Facebook ads. It can be a collaboration with another brand so that their followers see your brand. Or if it's offline, it can be events, billboard, freebies, news media, etc. But awareness now on social media, it's something that you can do via ads. As I mentioned, it can be via ads, it can be via brand collaboration. And we believe in the rule of 7, which means that for someone to remember your brand and to consider your brand, they have to see you for 7 times. So in Picha, a lot of people say, oh, I think I saw you somewhere there, and then I saw you in the bazaar, and I saw you there, and I saw you at Big, and I saw you here, and now I'm ordering. So our goal is always to expose ourselves as many times as possible to people so that they remember us. And the next stage, this is the stage that I really want to highlight, which is the consideration stage. So again, if you imagine yourself purchasing something, or just put yourself into the shoes of your client, when we want to buy something, right, social media has become the place for us to do our research. Social media or Google. So you think about it. Let's say I want to order food. I know there is PichaEats, and I know there's like another brand called ABC. And I want to compare the both of them. And let's say I want to compare the both of them. The first thing that I would do is definitely I go on Instagram, I search for the both of them and see whether their photos look delicious. And I might also go up on Google review to see if they have good reviews. If they have bad reviews, then maybe the Instagram photos can't be trusted. I might also go on Facebook to see whether they are active or not. So just imagine these two brands that we are comparing. It's going through the consideration phase where we do research and we discover more options. And if, let's say, you think that social media is not important, and when your client is trying to do a research, they go on PichaEats and ABC. Let's say ABC is extremely active on social media, where once you get on their Instagram, you saw their IG story about their clients yesterday, you saw their post about their latest product, and you go to PichaEats Facebook and it's dead. So one dead social media and an extremely active social media, it's very natural that the client would choose the one who is active, because you see more proof, you see more data for your research to further reinforce that your choice for ABC is the correct one. So whatever your brand is, even though you might be saying, oh, let's say I own travel related product. Let's say you own a hostel, and you might be thinking, what's the point of going on social media right now when no one's going to travel anyway? But this is also a good time for you to share with people about your values. What are your strengths? What are your value proposition? Because if they keep seeing it while they cannot travel, one day they will be able to travel again. So for example, if you own a hostel and every day on your social media, you share about how despite having no guests in your hostel, you still keep it very clean. And you can share a bit of story about how your team keep every place clean, every corner clean, and how they polish certain things. Just share things like that so that people know, oh wow, even without guests, they are taking this so seriously. So when I can start traveling again, I'm gonna choose this over another social media that disappeared throughout this MCO. So there are actually a lot of things that we can do. But for your brand, we can all really sit down and think about what you want people to know about you now, that even if they don't purchase right now, when MCO is lifted or when the situation improves, you have a stronger stand as compared to your other competitors, because you have been, I don't want to say brainwashing, but you have been feeding them all this value and message that you want to give it to them throughout this period when they are always on their phone. So that's the consideration phase. And the next phase, which is purchase, purchase might or might not happen on social media. So basically, purchase is when they buy, right? And purchase, it's where we can consider whether our website checkout system is smooth, whether we give them a promo code to trigger them to buy, and whether we give them this experience of, oh, I really want to get this, and it's so easy to buy. Because let's say your checkout system is not well built, they got aware of you, they consider about you, you won the consideration and research phase, they chose you, and they go to your website and they are like, hey, where's the checkout button? Hey, why so complicated one? And if that happens, you have just wasted all your effort, because the final experience of purchasing wasn't good. So it's really a full journey that all of us have to think about, so that all our efforts are not going to waste. So during the purchase, currently even on Instagram or on Facebook, there's a lot of like shopping function. Whoops, there's a lot of shopping function that you can actually add your product onto Facebook so that people can check out from there. And finally will be the loyalty loop, which is the post-purchase experience. So for the post-purchase experience, is after they purchase, how do you continue a relationship with them via social media? So on social media, you can update them about your latest product. You can update them about, you can even give them a shout out to appreciate them for buying things from you. So basically to give them this experience of, oh, this brand cares for me and I want to buy from them again. This brand resonates with me so much, I want to buy from them again. So that is where social media can come in different parts of the online buyer's journey. So yeah, I hope I'm clear. If you have any question, just drop it on the chat. Currently, I can't see the chat because I'm looking at my screen. But after I talk, I will go back to the live desktop, I guess, and then I will see your question if you have any. All right, so that's a modern online buyer's journey, which I think it's really important for us to really look at it stage by stage and see how we can touch different potential clients at different touch points, and how social media can come in at this moment. So social media, what can we do during this crisis? So as I mentioned, social media, it's the channel for us to communicate with people out there that we want to talk to. Social media is the platform for us to convey our values, our message, our promotion, to reach a wider audience. And as I mentioned here, right, social media can come in different spots, which you have to also sort of decide as a brand which spot would be your focus. But before we go fully on social media, these are some of the important questions for us to ask ourselves. The first is, why are you on social media? A lot of us have social media. We have our Facebook, our LinkedIn, Instagram, and all that. But for our brand to have a social media presence, we really have to ask ourselves, why are we on social media? Is it for brand engagement? Is it for brand awareness? Is it to generate sales? Is it to generate leads? Or is it just for customer service? Because with every goal that you set for your brand, it affects your strategy. And if for example, if your goal on social media is to generate brand engagement, for example, then all your posts should be crafted in a way where it encourages engagements. It can be doing open-ended question. It can be a lot on Instagram where you do polls. It can be on Instagram where you do the Ask Me Anything function. There are a lot of functions that you can explore for engagement. But if let's say your goal is for conversion, which is to generate sales, then the strategy will also be completely different, because you can do promo, you can shout more about how good your product is instead of saying, so the whole content and the post and the design, everything is very different. And to generate sales, you can also use Insta Story for the swipe out to purchase right now and things like that. So to know that why are you on social media is important. And if you say, okay, I'm on social media for all of the above, which is fine as well, but if you can find a balance to it to make sure that you are still engaging with them, at the same time you are still trying to get them to purchase. But I just want to clarify, even though you are on social media for brand engagement, it doesn't mean that you don't care about sales, but you are using the engagement to build a stronger relationship with your audience so that they like you as a brand and then they purchase in the end. So it is still for the business, it is still for sales, but it's just not so immediate as compared to throwing out a lot of promo codes, for example. So that is one, why are you on social media? And secondly is, who is your target audience? So asking yourself who is your target audience is also very important, because by determining who is your target audience, it helps you to decide which platform to go on. So for example, if your target audience are corporates or working adults, then probably the platform to go on is LinkedIn. But if your target audience are the young adults between the age of, let's say, 25 to 40, they are probably on Instagram. If your target is on the group who are slightly elder, at the age of like 35 to 55, they are probably on Facebook. If they are extremely young, like 16, 17, they are probably on TikTok. So I don't want to generalize everything, but every platform does have like a higher demographic group of have a higher number of certain demographic group. So it's good for you to really think and study the platforms and to decide which one you should invest more on. If you can go for all, up to you, you can go for all. But if you can't, then choose the one that works the best for you. And on each platform, there is also a slight difference in the voice that you use in different platforms. Like again, for example, LinkedIn is slightly more professional. The things that you say should contribute to the growth of their professional life or even their overall personal growth. So LinkedIn is a lot of those. On Instagram is probably a lot of nice visual, funny things and things like that. So I think all of you should be able to tell the difference as well of different platforms. So understanding who is your target audience can help you decide which platform to be on. So that is 2 and 3 covered. And lastly, what are you going to share? So what are you going to share? For us, our rule, not to say rule, the thing that we hold on to strongly for content is how can the content add value to the people who are seeing the content. So for example, by adding value, I don't mean, I must give a promo code, I must give a discount. That is not what value means to us. Adding value to us means whether this content helps the person, whether this content teaches that person something new, whether this content makes the person laugh because it is funny, and whether this content inspire the person in different ways because it's like a new idea. So value adding can be very internal as well, and it can be a feeling that we give to the audience when they see it, where they feel like, oh, I think I want to follow this brand because the content is funny, or I want to follow this brand because it's really creative. So ask yourself, as a brand, what kind of value can you give to others and how are you going to share that? So here are a few examples of certain brands that we think are curating their message quite well in this season of MCO. So currently, since everyone's at home, you can, as a brand, you can give certain info and content that actually helps them resonate with your brand. So for example, for Go Car, they changed their banner to Go Home. They are actually a car rental platform. So by right, they shouldn't encourage people to go home because then they won't use their product. But because this is a time where we all stand together and stay home, so that they changed their banner to Go Home, which is quite cute. And they also come up with like funny content like, oh, warning, chocolate makes your clothes shrink. And they also share a few like tips and tricks about what is curfew, how is the movement control order happening. So all these are when MCO just started. And I think they also share a bit of like tips on working from home. So that's for Go Car. And for Nando's, I think if some of you follow them, Nando's has also been curating their content very focused to MCO, where if you see their banner again, they say do your part, stay apart but close to heart, and they share a lot of recipe of how you can cope with peri-peri sauce. So yes, they are encouraging you to buy peri-peri sauce, but it's not like, oh, buy now. It's true, good, and it's true content that adds value to you, where you learn, oh, how to make this version of omelette. If you want to buy this, you buy. If you don't want to buy, you can substitute it with something else. So it gives you content that you enjoy, but at the same time, it highlights the product. And they also do a lot of things like bringing the community together, serving food to the frontliners. So all these are continuous effort to keep people engaged through social media. If you are thinking right now, oh, but all these like Nando's is essential, they are in the food business. What about those who are not related or not open or not functioning at all currently? So I have this next example, which is actually a hostel in India, which I think they did a really good job. I really enjoyed their content. So what they do is, during this MCO, of course, no one's gonna travel, and no one, even in India, no one's gonna travel, no one's gonna travel in or out, and no one's gonna go to their hostel, but they keep their social media very active. Do follow them. So what they do is content that is extremely relatable. Like, for example, you look at these two phones at the back, a traveler's guide on social distancing. Instead of doing early morning hikes, now you do morning yoga sessions at home. And instead of packing your bags for a new trip, why not reorganize your wardrobe? So they just shifted the focus and the actions that people use for traveling to something that is now currently at home. And I thought this is quite funny as well. They came out with packages called Travel for Tomorrow, which is like a you buy now and use later kind of thing. And they have this then and now. Like, last time you take photo with this nice scenery, now you are just at home mopping the floor. And they also host a lot of learning sessions with singer, songwriter, a filmmaker, and things like that through Instagram to add value to their viewers as well. So I think, again, the question to ask is, how can your brand add value? So some of the examples that I have in mind is, for example, when I first did this session, one of the participants was actually a dentist. So I was suggesting to him, okay, right now maybe no one's gonna visit the dental clinic, maybe, but you can still build your online presence that add value to other people. For example, you can say tips like, oh, right now your kids are at home all the time, you are seeing them all the time, and their mouth smells really, really bad. How do you get kids to brush their teeth willingly? What are some of the tips and tricks? Or even on how to floss your teeth properly, because right now you're always at home, you're always eating non-stop. Here are the ways to floss your teeth. Or things like, if you have been drinking too much sugary drinks, Coke, whatever, this is how to keep your teeth healthy, how to keep your gum healthy. There's so much content that you can give out. And if people appreciate the content and they find the content helpful, trust me, they will build. Don't trust me, trust the data. They will actually build this, you will be able to build this trust and rapport and relationship between you and this viewer who you haven't met before. And when MCO ends, or when one day they need a dentist, they will remember you because you helped them throughout this period of time. So really think, how can your brand add value? Because by adding value to people, that is where people find the value to follow you. If not, yeah, what's the point of following a social media account or following someone's content if it's just promo and promo and promo, or it's just announcement and announcement and announcement? So we really believe in the power of content, and specifically value-adding content. Yeah, so that's all from me. Yep, I'm 3 minutes early, but that's all from me. I'm just gonna move back to the screen and stop sharing. If there is any question, I would be happy to answer. All right, there's some comments here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, did the consumers know the food was cooked by refugees? Yes. So currently, it is actually on our social media. It's actually everywhere that the chefs come from Palestine, Syria, Iraq, Pakistan. But all of them follow a very strict SOP of getting typhoid injection, medical checkup. They have a strict standard of hygiene to follow, and things like that. And for every meal that we send out, the name of the chef will be pasted on the meal. Like, this is cooked by Chef Latifah from Afghanistan. So people know that all the chefs are refugees, but they also trust us that we keep all the standards very high in terms of hygiene and food quality, because it is really what we do, and that is also what we always convey on social media. What social media platform? Oh,
Hi,
hi.
Suzaane.
Sorry, I jumped
Are
straight.
you?
You wanna
It's
take over?
fine, it's fine. You're already taking in the question. Okay, thank you so much, first of all, for your sharing. And I was, I think it's my first time hearing about PichaEats
Oh,
and
really?
very, very inspiring work that you are doing in regards to
Thank you.
PichaEats. And I think currently doing the CMO, I think you found a way to find alternative revenue uh, for like using Zucchini. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much for sharing your inputs, your insights into this. And I think you were answering the questions, right? Let's just go back to the questions.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
The next question was what social media
Social
platform
media.
do you use?
Mm-hmm.
What I currently use is Instagram, Facebook. We are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. As for now, we tried Twitter, didn't really work for us somehow, so we stopped. I would say right now, main focus is on these four, and the reason why is because on Facebook and LinkedIn, definitely. On Facebook and Instagram, that's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of user and a lot of interaction there. So for Instagram, we focus a lot on food and on engagement. So if
Mm-hmm.
you go to our Instagram account, you see a lot of food photos, and our
Mm-hmm.
Insta story is where we engage a lot with our followers. And on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, it's like we see Facebook like a sort of like a e-magazine place where if people
Mm-hmm.
want to find out more about Picha, they go to Facebook, they will scroll and they will see the past meals that we have served before. So that's Facebook for
Mm-hmm.
us. And on LinkedIn, because we have a lot of B2B clients, so on LinkedIn, we also build a presence of how we serve the B2B clients, what we believe in the team, in our culture. So basically, to build brand credibility as a team. Even
Mm-hmm.
personally, we are active on LinkedIn to share about what we do, why are we doing certain things, and what's the latest update in Picha. So LinkedIn is a place where we connect with a lot of B2B corporate professionals. And for TikTok, it's up and rising. We don't want to lose out, so we actually jump onto TikTok quite long, but currently we haven't fully mastered it yet because I
Yeah.
think none of
How does it work in when it comes to TikTok, right? You were
yeah.
telling how does it work when it comes to branding something on TikTok?
Um, I think on TikTok currently, I won't. I'm not an expert on TikTok, yeah, so I can't tell fully. But on TikTok, the reach is something that is very strong, like very high reach, because a lot of people keep scrolling. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but but currently, we see a lot of brands starting to use TikTok. For
Mm-hmm.
example, there is this like hand washing challenge by
Yeah.
by a soap brand, and then there's last time McDonald's did this burger dance thing where if you finish the
Uh-huh.
dancing challenge, you get a free burger. So I think it's a
Uh-huh.
very good platform for brands to drive engagement and to viral certain things. But
Mm-hmm.
currently, I think some brands will also engage with some like popular TikTokers, I don't know what they call that, to do some
Influencers.
endorsement. Yeah, influencers to do some
Yeah.
endorsement as well. But as for Picha, currently we are still trying, like we're trying to figure out, we're just trying to put out as many videos and content as possible. Some goes viral, some doesn't. We don't know why. So, but we are just on TikTok to experiment and to see where can it go. Yeah. So that
I
is
think another question, which social media is the most effective? I think you're also explaining that you're trying out each and every social media,
yes.
right?
I
Every
think
platform.
Hmm. I think which is the most effective to apply really very much depends on your brand and your target audience. Because I can't give you a definite answer and say Instagram is the most effective. So if let's say again, if your clients are corporate people, then
Mm-hmm.
maybe they will see you more on LinkedIn. I am not sure. So this is something that we
Mm-hmm.
need to test. But for us, Facebook and Instagram works in a way where a lot of B2C client will DM us and ask, hey, do you deliver to Kajang? Or do you deliver birthday meal? What is in your set? So Facebook and Instagram, we get those. And on LinkedIn, we get a lot as well. On LinkedIn, we get messages like, oh, my company is having a conference. Can you cater? I mean, that is before the MCO.
Mm-hmm.
So to us, these three works very well. But to you, you have to test and try which works well for your brand. I
Mm-hmm.
think I saw another question that I
Yeah.
wanna and where is it? Someone
Mm.
asked, do I
How did
use
you address those concerns?
yes,
That, yeah.
Fiyok, sorry. Will you do the same content posting to all platforms? Very good question. We don't. We
Mm.
don't put the same content across platform. It can be the same product, but the messaging is completely different. So one example that I did before is just imagine, just look at your own phone. You have probably all the apps. okay, my own phone, okay? I have LinkedIn, I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have TikTok. It's all on my phone. And if let's say I have an hour to spend on social media, a very normal behavior is I will scroll on Instagram. And after I'm bored of Instagram, I switch to Facebook. And after I scroll through Facebook, okay, boring. Then I go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn I check, and then I go on Twitter, not Twitter, sorry, TikTok. So our behavior is a lot of jumping across different platforms. And just imagine if as a brand you post the same thing. So I go on Facebook, I scroll, I see the same post. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Then I jump on Instagram, it's the same thing. On LinkedIn, it's the same thing. And I think if that happens very naturally for me, I might unfollow on one of the platforms because I don't want to keep seeing the same thing. So what we do is just try to imagine if you want to sell a chocolate cake, okay? And on Facebook, you see this brand posting about that chocolate cake. And when you go to Instagram, you see the same brand, but instead of the same photo, you actually see Insta story of people eating the chocolate cake. So it is still the chocolate cake, but in a different format. And then you go on LinkedIn, and when you are on LinkedIn, you see the founder of the chocolate cake company sharing about why he started this new chocolate cake series. So if you think about it, it is still the same chocolate cake, but you have seen it in 3 different forms, in 3 different platforms. And all 3 content gives you value where you learn about something new. So we believe in using different content across different platforms. It can be the same photo, but different voice and different, how do I say that? Different content and different captions and different target audience. So that is what we do.
It's also a different target, right? Because some people might tune in only on Instagram and that content is suitable for them.
Yes,
some
correct.
people might tune into Facebook, and some people, business people, go on LinkedIn, and that content tunes their mindset and all. So
Correct.
it's targeting. It's also covering different people, I would say.
Yes. So like for example, we are a bit more punny. We put a lot of puns. But on Facebook we don't do so much puns. On Facebook it's more like a community thing. And on LinkedIn we do a lot more like the formal stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's one more question. Why don't use YouTube instead of TikTok?
Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention. We are also on YouTube. I forgot to mention. YouTube is also something that we are building. Actually, ever since MCO started, we do a lot more videos on YouTube. And yeah, like a lot of like how to keep your veggie fresh, how to make buttermilk chicken at home, how to sanitize your car, things like that. Yeah, we have been doing a few videos on YouTube as well. Okay.
Who handles your social media marketing, internal or external team?
Yeah, so for PichaEats, we have an internal team handling the social media marketing, and this internal team right now has started Zucchini and Co. So Zucchini and Co is basically the marketing team of PichaEats. Yeah, and I'm in both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So both that's it's one team, but you guys has evolved into Zucchini because of this COVID, right?
Sorry.
That's one team under PichaEats, but you have evolved into Zucchini because of this MCO and the COVID-19, right? You were saying.
I see. Okay, so in our Picha team, we have 11 full-timers. So out of the 11 of us, there are 3 of us that focuses a lot on social, 3 of us that focus a lot on marketing. And when we decided, when MCO was announced, we looked internally to see what are the strengths of the team, and we know storytelling is one of it. So we decided out of the 11, 3 of us will focus on starting this new business, but we are still managing all the marketing and social media of Picha. So, but we started Zucchini and Co so that we can also work with other brands to work on their storytelling and marketing. And this is actually something that we have thought about 2 years ago, but our plan to start this business is actually 2 years later, which is in 2022.
2022.
That was the initial plan to start a content marketing company in 2022, but well, it happens now, so that's great. And yeah, because for Picha, I mean, for all of us, we are very impact driven. Whatever we do, we want it to have an impact. So our dream and our goal for Zucchini is that when is that in the future, we want to have like digital marketing academy, design academy for refugee kids or even youth at risk, even the locals, whoever who is not going on the conventional like university route, they can come and learn from us and they can become part of the team where they do freelance design, freelance copywriting and things like that. So that
So
opens up
you
more.
give opportunities as well, right?
So that is what we want to do in the long term. Yeah.
Okay,
So that
I think
is
there's one question about what's your social team size. I think that's what you mentioned right
okay.
now.
Yeah, so for our social media team, the interesting thing about our social media team is none of us is, how do I say it? We work in a way where our social media team is decentralized, which means that we are not to say the social media team. For example, I manages Facebook and IG story, but I also manage the B2C business side of things. I also manage catering. I also manage a bit of weddings on the operation side. So let's say 30% of our time, of my time, is on social media, and then we have Logita, who is actually leading the B2B sales and account managing, but she manages LinkedIn. Okay, and then we have Mincha, who actually manages all our chefs. So she's the community leader, but she managed the Instagram as well. So we don't have a full-time social media team, but we decentralize and we delegate each platform to each person in the full-time team. And every Monday we meet to realign. So every Monday we meet to say, okay, what's the issue last week? What did well, what didn't do well? What are we trying this week? And we move forward like that every single week. So we didn't actually have a full-time social media team, but we just delegate everything out, which works actually. So you can,
Yeah, that's a very nice way to go
yeah,
about it as well. All
yes.
right. The next question is how much should we spend for the social media marketing?
Okay, it depends whether it's a paid ad or organic one. For organic one, if you can afford, I would definitely suggest having someone to curate the content for you. If you don't want to, you can also outsource to us. Haha. Okay. But for ads, right, it's very important. Okay, so I actually started learning about ads and things like that properly actually mid last year. So imagine Picha has been around for 4 years, but I only started understanding digital ads properly a year ago. And after talking to a lot of people, I think ultimately it's very hard to decide how much to spend on social media because it kind of depends on how much you can afford. But the very important thing is to make sure that the return of your investment is worth it. So always look at the return. So for example, if you spend, let's say, 2,000 ringgit on the ads, make so okay, how do I put this properly? Okay, if you put in 2,000 ringgit for your ads and you have goals, there are different goals. It can be for traffic, which means you lead people to your website. It can be for conversion, which means you want people to buy immediately from the ads. And it can also be for generating leads. Let's say you want people to give their email. So you have to do the maths yourself. Let's say you do 2,000 ringgit ad and you attract 4,000 people into your website. It means for every click, you actually need to spend 50 cents for one person to click into your website. And you have to decide whether that is worth it or not. If it's not worth it, then stop it, maybe. You have to decide that. If let's say it's for sales, you spend 2,000 ringgit and you earn back 8,000 ringgit. If you make a profit out of that, then maybe you should max it out, make it 5,000 ringgit so that you get in 20,000. So that is also the maths that you need to do. And finally, if it's for generating sales, I actually spoke to one company before. To them, they spend about 25 ringgit to get each email and a contact number from Facebook ad. But after they get this email, this client become a long-term client, which the return is way higher than 25 ringgit. So if it's worth it for you, then go ahead. So in the end, it's all about doing the maths and deciding whether your investment is worth it or not. No, sorry, the return is worth the investment or not.
Return
Yeah.
is word or not?
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
the
didn't know
return.
that.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
next.
there's
Hi,
one more
Dahlia.
question.
Yeah.
So is it advisable for one company to appear in all different social media to spread different information? Aren't we
Mhm.
confused choosing people who know which one they want to follow and all?
Okay. I think it's a great question to ask, because it is true that if you don't need to have so many platforms, maybe you don't have to. So, for example, let me just pull out. Let's say for McDonald's, they are very active on Twitter and Instagram, but they don't post every day, and they have their reason, which is fine. On Facebook, there's a lot of ads, but on Instagram there is not much ads. On Instagram, if you look at McDonald's Instagram, it's very very cute, very like a lot of cartoon, a lot of emoji, because they
Yeah.
want to relate to people. They want to be seen as a brand, despite being international. They want to be seen as a brand that is actually like our friends, which is working really
Yeah.
well. So I
Yeah.
think whether it is advisable for one company to appear on different social media is also a choice for you to make. Of course, the more platform you are on, the more people you are reaching. But again, as mentioned, the content needs to be curated to cater to the people who are on the platform. So, for example, um, okay, actually, as long as we have a niche, right, and the value to give. So, for example, for Picha, again on Facebook, we focus a lot on like a community. So on Facebook, we update people what are we up to. We update people about how many meals we have distributed during MCO. On Facebook, it's a lot of like, it's like a e-magazine if you want to see it that way. But on Instagram, it's a lot of like food photos and then a lot of videos. So Instagram is a lot of content for people to see and get engaged with. But on LinkedIn, we share a lot of things like how do we keep the team together in the midst of MCO? What culture do we believe in? What does our CEO says about this whole situation? It's a lot of work-related info which targets people on LinkedIn. So I would say it won't be very confusing if the content is very clear and focused, and they know that, for example, let's say for me, I like food photos, but I don't like the working information. So I just follow on Instagram. I won't follow on LinkedIn, which is fine. But people who don't really like to see food photo, they want to learn more about work culture, then they follow on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay.
If you like all, you
Okay.
follow.
I think we have one more last question. I think we're running out of time. Maybe can quickly answer the last question, then we can do a
Yeah.
wrap up.
Can. So the last question, how do you get ideas on content to
Ideas
share?
on contents.
What we do as a first step is we come up with content pillars. So just imagine, again, I'm using Picha as an example. Just imagine Picha as a food business. What kind of content we can come up with? The first pillar will be the chef story. We have all the stories of our chef that we can share, and then we can share about the origin and the background and the tradition of the food, because the food is very special. Then we can share about how to eat this food. Let's say this dumpling, you can pan fry it. This thing, we can do that. And we can also share about the team who is in Picha. So sit down and think as your brand, what can you share about? Let's say if you sell clothes, you can share about how to match this top to go to the gym, to go to the shopping mall, to go dating, to go cinema, to meet your boyfriend's parents. You can do things like that. You can also highlight how durable the clothes is. Maybe you try to wash it and it still looks good. I'm not sure. So you can come up with different pillar of content that you can highlight about your brand. So you really need to sit and think and go and get references and see other businesses out there doing the same thing. What do they post on their social media? Always refer and get inspired and work from there. Yeah, I'm done.
Brainstorm a bit, brainstorm and get the content out, I guess. All right. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for answering all the questions. I think there's a lot of questions. You took so much effort to answer one by one. Thank you so much. And the amazing work that you're doing in
No
Picha,
problem.
as well as Zucchini. Good luck and all the best during this COVID-19.
Thank
I wish
you.
you all the best. Thank you so much for joining us at
Do
Marketing in the
follow
New
us.
Normal as well.
Do
Come
follow us.
again?
Do follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's very, when you put it in a way that how content works, how different social media works, it's very interesting to look at. So thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.